y'all, so today I have a really simple recipe for you. It is going to be classic deviled eggs, just the classic how do we do deviled eggs. So of course you're going to need your eggs. So I have mine right here. I'm going to be using Duke's mayonnaise. Y'all know that's what I use. I have some sweet relish, some Dijon mustard, some Slap Your Mama, ground black pepper, and some paprika. So the first thing that I'm going to do is show you how I cook my eggs. Okay, so in the chicken salad video, I asked a question about how do y'all make sure you have foolproof eggs, because sometimes my eggs turn out good and then sometimes they don't. And y'all, the neighbors showed up for your girl. So y'all gave me some different tips. One was to use baking soda, one was to add more salt than I was adding, and the other was to use distilled vinegar. So I took what you guys gave me and did a little practice, and I came up with how this works. So these two things are what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be adding some sea salt and also about 1/4 cup of distilled vinegar. The other thing was to make sure that my water was boiling already. So I'm adding these things to the boiled water. So that's about 1/4 cup of vinegar. And now I'm going to add in a good little bit of salt, probably about 2 tablespoons of salt. And then it's boiling. It's just, you can kind of see it, like I can see it boiling. So what we're going to do now is put our eggs in. So the other thing that was told to me was to make sure that the water was boiling, and then to clock the eggs from the, clock the eggs for 12 minutes. And then that would be a perfectly boiled egg. And y'all, I have done it twice, and it is, like, the eggs are absolutely perfect. There is no dark ring around them. And so you'll see. So what we're gonna do, I'm cooking 8 for good measure, just in case. All right, and then we're going to set a timer for 12 minutes, and then we'll be back. Hey Siri, set a timer for 12 minutes, please. All right, so the timer has gone off. It's 12 minutes later. This is what we look like. Don't be alarmed by the foam. I think that's just from the vinegar because it's done it the last couple times. But now I have an ice bath waiting on the other counter. So we're gonna go and drop them in there. Okay, so here is the ice bath, and I take them out the same way I put them in. So I just pick them up, drain that water, drop them right off in that cold water. And the cool thing I like about this is I used to end up with like eggs that would crack and all of that. And the 3 times that I've done this, I haven't had an egg crack yet. So thank you to all the neighbors who commented on that chicken salad video for how I could get perfect eggs every time. So far, so good. So I just let these sit in here, not long at all. I'm gonna dump this water out, and then we're gonna, as soon as they're cool enough for me to handle them, I like to go ahead and peel them. Okay, so as soon as they're cool enough for me to handle, I grab it out. I just kind of give it a little crack on the counter. Watch this. Y'all, look. Look, a perfect egg. Okay, so I drop it back in there just so it can cool off. So I put the peeled eggs right back in the cold water so that my egg yolk, my egg white can get kind of hard, not hard, but more. I put them back in here to cool off the egg white so that when I cut it, it won't split, hopefully. But even if it splits, like if we have one that splits, I'll show you exactly what to do with that. So I am going to finish cracking my eggs, and then I'm going to let them sit in the cold water for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll move on with our next step. But yes, this is the foolproof way to cook a perfect egg. So here are my eggs, here's my tray. So the first thing that I do is I just take my knife, and you want to be gentle. Cut them in half. And then I want you to see this perfect yolk, y'all. There's no green, gray ring around it or anything. That is literally the perfect way to cook eggs. So after that, I just take my egg yolk, pop it in the bowl. A spoon will help you with that. I'm probably gonna go grab one. That way I can make sure that I don't tear my egg whites. But you just pop the yolk out, pop it into the bowl. I'm gonna grab a spoon. And we are just going to keep doing this until we're done. I am going to let you see this part, but I will fast forward through it for you. And I ate one of the extra ones that I did. So we'll just go ahead and do this one. And then we'll just put him in the middle of the tray, like that. Might have a little piece of butter lettuce in there to make that photo pretty when we're done. All right, so now we have our yolks. It's time to get to work. So in your bowl and with a fork, the first thing that you want to do is get these yolks smushed up. Now, if I was making a bunch of these, I would use a food processor. But since I'm only making 14, I don't mind using my forky fork. So you want to get these really super fine. You don't want a lot of chunks. So just take your time. Get all that stress out, you know, just smush you up some egg yolks. What, in the comment section, let me know, what is your favorite appetizer? So if you're at an event or somebody's house, anything, what is your favorite appetizer? I love deviled eggs. I also like what I call baby shower meatballs. So what is your favorite appetizer? Is it deviled eggs? Is it meatballs? Is it spinach artichoke dip? Is it some other kind of dip? I love buffalo chicken dip too, and I have a recipe coming up for that soon. But in the comment section, tell me what your favorite is. Alright, so I think we're almost there. Okay? Now, the most important part with deviled eggs is to add all of your things slowly. It is better to add too little than to add too much. The last thing you want is a runny deviled egg. So I'm going to start with literally about a tablespoon. We'll say a tablespoon and a half. That's it. Of mayo. All right, and we're gonna start giving it a mix. And it may be a little dry, but again, like I said, we can always go back and add things. But once you take it too far, that is it. All right, so I can tell you now, I'm gonna need some more. But before we do that, I wanna go ahead and start adding a little bit of my other things because they'll make it a little watery too. So we're going to add in, let's shake up that mustard so we don't get that nasty mustard water. And you can use yellow mustard, but I like this Dijon mustard, and this one has a little bit of white vinegar in it. I mean, of white wine in it. So it gives it a little bit of a twang, so that's why I like it. All right, and we're just gonna add about 1/2 of a teaspoon to that. And this is a classic recipe. Now, as we approach New Year's, I'm gonna share with y'all some variations of this. You can put bacon in your deviled eggs. You can put shrimp in your deviled eggs. You can do a lot of things to zhuzh them up. All right, so I'm gonna grab another spoon so I can get the relish, all right? And I'm going to use about a tablespoon of relish. And then we'll see. To see my relish, so I'm gonna add another tablespoon, and I'm draining it just a little but not much, so 2 tablespoons of relish. And see how adding that relish caused it to kind of start loosening up? That's why I told you, go really easy on that mayo. The worst thing you can have is a runny deviled egg. All right, so we're gonna go with just a tinge of mayonnaise. All right, and I think that's going to be our sweet spot. There it is. Alright, so see how, okay, let me show you. Oh, I didn't show you. Okay, see how I flipped that fork over and it's taking a minute for it to fall off? See that? That's what you want. You don't want a runny deviled egg. So let's add a little bit of spice to this. I'm going in with the Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning. You can use the Tony C's. You can use McCormick. You can use whichever Creole seasoning, Cajun seasoning you want to use. Keep in mind, this does have salt in it. All right, we're gonna go in with a little black pepper. And then I'm gonna add just a little bit of paprika to the inside, but you know, we are going to top the top of our deviled eggs with paprika. You have to. You just have to. Alright, so now I'm gonna show you another trick. We're gonna get that off of there. Glass. You want to get you a sandwich bag. Put that sandwich bag down off in the glass. And now you're going to take this filling I'm gonna have to use my spoon. And we're making us a little piping bag. Now, if you have a piping bag, you can do that. I'm a cooker, not a baker. So I don't have a piping bag, but this is how you can make a homemade one. Now, I'm just gonna pick that up. See that corner? We're gonna push it down off in that corner. You're gonna push the air out of it. Make sure you can see me. And then we're gonna cut this tip off. Now when you cut your tip off, do just a little bit. You want it just big enough that your relish can come out of it. And now we'll fill them up. And if you want to do this the more rustic way, where you just do it with a spoon, you can. But this is just a little bit neater. Especially when you're presenting them or having an event or something. And I don't think I'm going to use those two middle ones. I just feel like that may mess up my tray. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have the filling for them, so I might. And you want to make sure, I like my deviled egg kind of full. So you want to make sure you get it down off in there really good. These are some nice stuffed deviled eggs. These aren't skimpy. All right, and then of course, deviled eggs would not be deviled eggs if you didn't take that paprika. You want to hold it just a little high because you want a dusting of paprika. You don't want them too heavy. So just a nice little dusting. And ladies and gentlemen, boom, and there it is. As always, thank y'all so very much. Make sure that you've hit that subscribe button and that you have hit the notification bell. That way you can be notified every day when we post our video. So until next time, I will see you tomorrow. Bye, neighbors.